Hello, good evening, and welcome to today's coaching session. My name is Anita Mathis. I am the principal and founder of Grace Factors LLC. Our company is focused on helping organizations and individuals to provide top quality service, customer service, and efficient operations and project management support. Real excited about today's presentation because we're going to be talking about how something very simple is going to open up many, many opportunities for your business to grow. And this is going to be applicable regardless of the size of the business. So let's say if your business is just getting started, this information we're going to talk about is going to be important because you're going to want to set the stage for the impressions that your future customers get by what they see online. If you have existing customers, you're going to want to make sure that those customers are satisfied, be able to keep tabs when they're not, and be able to take action when you get feedback that is not always positive. It's important to keep in mind that um, there used to be, let's go back, let's backtrack to something from many years ago and we'll apply it. There used to be many, many years ago, there was a cartoon as a kid that I used to watch, and it was the character's name was Gary Gnu. And he had a popular saying where he would say that no good news is good news with Gary Gnu. So what in the world does that have to do with this? Well, that does not apply necessarily when it comes to your business's reputation online. Just because you don't have negative reviews doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory. We want to get the pulse, so to speak. You want to know what the pulse is of your business. And the way you're going to find that out is by reaching out to people and getting feedback. Fortunately for us, for many businesses today, they've already got established a Google business profile, and that profile and other social media sites as well is going to be a really good source or a place to go to in order to obtain some of that much needed news or feedback about what you're doing so that you can make any needed changes that might need to be changed. A lot of times our customers are the ones who know our weaknesses long before we know, because in our mind, as long as we're providing good service, as long as we're getting the job done, as long as we did what we said we were supposed to do, everything is good. But everything is not always good. So what we're doing today is we're going to be talking about maximizing the feedback that we receive from our customers on sites such as your Google business profile. At a future time, if you don't have a Google business profile, we can talk about, the little steps to getting that set up and what it looks like, but don't get it, as they say, twisted. Google, your Google presence, all those things are still important. And artificial intelligence is only going to intensify what's existing, what's already there. Eventually, what the customers say, pardon me, is going to be um, accumulated or aggregated even more so into the thought processes of artificial intelligence. And they're going to be spewing out recommendations for your potential customers when it comes down to should you go here or should you not, simply based on the reviews that are on the website. So, for example, and I would love to have a chance, let me say, I would love to have a chance for everyone to introduce themselves. But we're not going to be able to do that because we're on a limited timeline with this webinar. So I do want it to just go ahead and get started. But thank you for coming. Thank you for coming again. But artificial intelligence is providing recommendations for your potential customers based on reviews. And so let's talk about what we can do to attract our new customers the right way, take advantage of the feedback that is there, and to come up with a plan for business improvement. To come up with a plan for business improvement. So our agenda today, we're going to start out with an introduction. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and where I'm coming from. Hopefully I'm recording. Let me go back here and ensure I've lost my mouse, that I am recording. I believe I am recording. I am recording. Yes. So I'll lay the foundation, tell you a little bit about me, why you might want to listen to me. Whatever I tell you here today, trust and believe this is the accumulation of many people's knowledge that has been compressed into my mind and is being presented to you today. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to lay a foundation. We're going to talk about the customer decision making. And what I want you to do is put yourself in the seat of customers today when it comes down to how you feel about buying things, what the thought process is that you go through when you decide who you're going to use for specific services, especially things that are going to, be costly or could be costly. But it may be something as simple as where you're going to go to eat dinner or who's going to do your hair, all those things. We're going to talk about the customer decision making process. We're going to talk about the important stuff. What when you get complaints, because all the feedback you get is not going to be good, because no business is perfect, like no person is perfect. So we're going to talk about what the complaints are telling you, what they might be telling you, and then introduce to you a way to take that feedback and create a simple business improvement plan that's actionable in the short term and that can be built on progressively in over time. At the end, I have a bonus for you that is useful if you are in business for yourself and you plan on implementing these ideas right now because you have some feedback that you want to look at and you want to see what steps can be taken to do better. I'm here to support that effort. If this is a service that you would like to be able to offer to others, because there are businesses that need this, all businesses need this. So if this is something that you want to offer in your business, we're going to talk about that possibility and how I can support you in that endeavor as well. So, first of all, again, my name is Anita Mathis. I am a certified project management professional. My focus is on planning and project management. So, as I approach this discussion here, the doing part of the decisions that you're going to make as a business owner to make these changes that are really going to bring about that top quality customer satisfaction, that experience that our customers deserve, it's going to happen over time. Some things might be able to, this is in a nutshell. This is the presentation in a nutshell. Some things are going to be able to be done in the short term, but some things are going to take time. And in order to achieve the best organization that you want to put forward, the best of your organization, project management is going to need to be involved. Somebody is going to have to sit down and be involved in planning and thinking about what needs to be done and how that's going to be done. So that's my focus and my background. I've worked in preparedness. I've worked with technology. So I'm a generalist, but at my core, project management is what I'm most passionate about. So the target audience for this presentation, of course, are business owners and service providers. So if you're in business for yourself, and again, you have customers that are happy and satisfied, that's wonderful. We want to make sure that we keep doing what we've been doing and make sure that our customers are continue to be happy. Just please bear with me one moment. Bear with me one moment while I check to make sure about something. Okay, so it looks good. Okay, so everything looks good with that. All right. So that's the audience. But again, if you're someone looking for a business to go into yourself, many people out there have degrees and they've worked on a job and they may have gotten laid off or they may be looking for part-time income. This is something that is substantial that can be built on in a business as a service provider. So whichever scenario or audience you fit in, you can take some of this information with you going forward. Even if your business is not established now, this is going to get you thinking about the things you need to look at in order to be successful. So this guy, put yourself in his shoes. So many big decisions to make, not a lot of money, not a lot of money. Truth be told, the economy is, and it's not just now, so this is not a political thing. It's just the economy goes through its ups and its downs, and we are in one of these times where money is tight. Money is tight. We're not able to, or at least it's not prudent to be wasteful with our money. So we want to get, good value for our dollar. We want to make sure that if we invest in something, it's going to bring a return that's good for us. We don't want to waste any money, right? Now food is sitting up there and oh my goodness, most of us waste a lot of money just eating food. I know I waste money too eating out, not cooking, but um how do you feel about spending money in today's economy? How do you feel about especially spending more than $10 on something? Let's look at $20 or more. Because past $20, $50, you're going to really start thinking nowadays. It's not like it was a couple of years ago when we could afford to waste money. So how do you feel about spending your money and who's going to get it? When we make that transaction of handing those 20s, that 50, that $100 bill, that card, that debit card, or signing that contract, when we finally do that, there's an expectation that we have for the business that we have chosen to give our money to, the house that we have decided to make a lifelong commitment to, because you have a commitment of 30 years usually to a house. So you're making a commitment to something. How do you feel about making that commitment? A car. How do you feel about the money that is going to have to be spent over a period of 5 to 7 years nowadays, which is average to pay for the car? And the prices of a car is outrageous nowadays. It's outrageous. I remember when I was young, a car payment was like $200, $300 a month. And that was for like a Nissan or something. And now it's like these car payments are 5, 6, 7 thousand dollars. So when you think about your customers and how they feel about spending money, think about how you feel about money. Now, if you're rich and money is of no object, well, you'll have to, look through a different lens. But generally speaking, business owners get it because we ourselves have to be tight with our money. We have to be prudent in where we spend our funds. And so um, we have to really think carefully about where we spend the money and hold them accountable. Because if we don't get what we paid for, that's a problem. And that's customers are spending their money to in this season strategically. And it's harder for businesses to stay in business. It's easy to go out of business as a small company. Small businesses go out of business all the time. But this economy we're in now and the changes that we're facing and the changes with technology and all these things like this are going to make it much more harder to be competitive and stay in business. So customer satisfaction needs to be the top priority, top of mind for us when it comes to being able to make it to the next day. So the customer decision-making process, how do you do it, right? Let's say in this scenario, here's a woman who needs to have some work done on her car. This is a relatable scenario because most of us have been in this situation. She needs to have some work done on her car. So how is she going to find someone to do it, the right person to do it? Um, I was in a scenario with my husband and I where a few years back, several years ago, um, we needed to have some work done on his car. And we have very different approaches about how we do things. I do the more research, the more analytical. Let's look and see what's out there. Let's look in well, years ago, there used to be the yellow pages, but this was not yellow pages time. But um, look who's out there. Look at the reviews. What are people saying? Who's local? What companies have been around with name recognition, which is important, that I might be able to go to, or he might be able to go to get his car fixed. But if he wound it up we wound up going with a recommendation by a friend of his, someone that he knew who was good at fixing cars, so he said. And so my husband said, well, he says he's good, I'll try him. And it worked out. It worked out. And we've actually used him on several occasions, and he's very good. He's very good. But word of mouth, online, um, yeah, all of that. These are methods that customers, your potential customers are going to do, and your existing customers after they've had an experience that they're not 100% satisfied with. Word of mouth, they're going to ask friends, family, who do you use? Who do you recommend? Who's nearby? What price is important, but reputation is very important in these discussions. So, um, the decision-making process is it's important for us to think, put ourselves in the shoes of our customers, and how are our customers thinking when they have to make a decision about who they're going to use for the service that we have to offer, because they have choices. Um, the young lady in this picture, she has Johnson's Auto, Speedy Motors, A1 Car Service, Superior Auto. They all have top ratings. But there's going to be something that's important to her that's going to be the driving force for her decision, her selection of who she's going to go with. And then her experience when she's there will determine if she's going to be a repeat customer or not. So the customer experience, as a business owner, we feel if we've provided what we were expected to provide, in this case, if the car was fixed, the car is running, she's doing what she's supposed to do. What's the problem? Well, the problem could have been a host of things that you're not aware of. Fixing the problem does not always mean the customer is satisfied. And so a business and an individual can have many customers that they have served and be very surprised by how overall customer satisfaction is not what you thought it was. And then the complaint may actually come out to be something that you wouldn't have expected. So in this scenario here, this woman had an experience. I don't know what happened, but whatever this experience was, she felt it was unprofessional. And so she left them a low rating and she put words with the numbers. She gave them quantitative and qualitative feedback. And so no one wants to see that, right? No one wants to see a 1 rating because it's going to bring your score down, right? Everybody wants to be a 5, right? Everybody wants to be a 5, but what is that 5 really telling you? What kind of feedback is the 5 telling you? Well, the 1 is telling you something. It's telling you that there's something that's off in the business and it needs to be addressed. So how are you going to find out? You're going to have to ask your customers what they think. Some customers will go online and give you a positive review. I, for one, do not do reviews. And I won't do a negative review unless it's something really off or really bad. Going back to the repair shop scenario, we've had many good experiences with the repair person that my husband got a referral from a friend. He has a Google business page. He has a rating of about 4.5. He has a couple of customers there who have said some things that you can tell it was more personal. And but who is to say, but the overall picture was there, right? But I've never made a review. My husband's never made a Google review on that business. But I have made a review on a business that I had went to. My daughter and I had our work done on our car, and we had been very satisfied for a long time. Well, the times that we went, and then one time we went and we thought that they didn't do the work that they said they did, and it was going to have a major impact on the vehicle. And so I went out of my way to put a negative review up there amongst all those glowing comments so that other people would know, hey, and so that they would know something's off here, buddy. Y'all need to look at this. This is what happened. And when I put that comment down, they responded. I was supposed to go in and have them look at it, but after that scenario, we just decided not to go back there anymore. But the way to find out what customers think is to go and look and see what feedback they're giving you, and to also ask them to provide you with a review. Not necessarily asking for a good review, not asking for a good review, but just asking them to provide you with feedback about the business so that you will have a gauge of the temperature and find out what things, might need to be looked at before they become major problems. So what do complaints tell you? Well, they're telling you first of all, that no business is perfect, like no individual is perfect. So we should not be surprised to see something negative because there's nobody out there who's going to satisfy everybody. So if I come across a profile or you come across a profile and all you've seen is positive, happy, jolly, we're so wonderful, they're the greatest reviews, something is off with that. Something is way off with that. They probably paid for reviews. So complaints reveal a lack of alignment between the customer's expectations and the performance, what the business delivered. We didn't do something in a way that the customer expected to get, whatever that might be. And as business owners, we are responsible for reducing unnecessary complaints. We want to look for the legitimate complaints and fix the problems that are associated with the legitimate complaints. Because legitimate complaints shows that we're not doing what we should be doing. Some people are going to complain about nothing. And you're going to be able to look for trends, which we're going to talk about later when you're looking at the reviews. You're going to be able to look for trends. That's what you want to look at. Trends that are showing that you got a problem. But a one-off complaint, that's a different story. So based on the feedback, the reviews, and the complaints that we received from customers, prior customers, we'll take steps to improve our business, starting small and building momentum. Because keeping in mind that business owners have limited funding as well as limited time. Starting out with the mindset that we're going to do these grandiose things or we need to make these huge changes right up front. It's good. It sounds good. But implementing it is where the challenge is going to lay. So the key here is to start small. The key here is to start small. Step one, you're going to identify the top 3 complaints. And the complaints can be, fall into different categories, but you want to identify the top 3 complaints and go with those. Then after that, the important thing to do is to look at what must be or might be at the root of this problem. Conduct a root cause analysis for a problem that is product or service or billing or something to do with wait times or something to do with your advertising being misleading or the place being not up to par. Try to get to the root cause of what is interfering. Step 3, you want to identify some small improvements that can be made now to address the problems. For example, with products, if it's a product problem, doing small quality checks, doing a training refresher. If it's customer service, perhaps coaching. If it's billing, simplify the pricing structure and that. Ask yourself what small improvements can be made right now. Step 4, begin long-term thinking. For example, um, long-term thinking with product or quality issues may involve enhancing product quality control, improving training through your training program, setting clear customer expectations. You want to look at all your main concerns and take it from there. And then create a simple business improvement plan. And again, any plan that's going to be executed is going to require project management. You don't want to just randomly going out there trying to do stuff because there'll be different stages and things that need to be done. And here's an example of a business plan, an improvement plan that we came up with for a company who had a few reviews that were they didn't have a lot of reviews, but the reviews they had were old, no doubt when they had first started the company. And this was what we came up with. And then set up a tracking sheet to track your project on completing the things that need to be done in order to actually improve the business's operations. Our objective is to have happy customers. And that does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen by accident. Um, Customer reviews, they matter. They're going to make a difference to the people who are looking at the business, our business, and deciding if we're going to go to them or someone else. Reviews, customer reviews, feedback is going to help us to identify trends and changes that we need to make in the short term, long term, and in the future. And also, they're going to be able to help us to see what we're doing good so we can keep doing it. Again, the goal is for we as business owners and for our customers to be happy. And this was just one simple way that, if applied, will overall improve the level of customer satisfaction in your organization. As a bonus, I am offering an exclusive accountability partner bonus where I provide you with 1 week of support for free when it comes down to executing the information that we've talked about right now. So this was a high-level overview of using the information that's out there to make your business better. Thank you for attending today. My name again is Anita Mathis with Grace Factors LLC, and look forward to having you attend one of the next trainings.